Hey, what's up, Kellen? Hope all is well. Congrats on the new gig, and hope this kind of paints a picture around what you guys can do to really drive more success on the new site. Um, and hopefully guide you guys in the right place. I didn't want to spend a lot of time putting together a proposal until you told me if you think it's a good thing to do, and if our pricing structure fits you guys. I understand that the competition, these guys specifically, gave you a proposal for around 4750, which I believe that 4750 times three is around 14 grand. Obviously, very low cost. I'm not really sure how some agencies can get away with that, but the results are, in my opinion, you're going to get a lot more of the same. So let's walk through that. I'll go ahead and share you on this document. I started making some general research. Um, I know they mentioned dedicated URL for each of the parks. Again, this is my opinion. I'm kind of torn here. I like the idea of the dedicated URLs, but you may just want to set those up as forwarding URLs and keep these things as very much a big parent, especially because your SEO at the moment is so good. So, I can go ahead and here and put up Action Parks, and you guys pretty much rank number one for everything. You're in the top five for everything big that we want, right? Water skiing Orlando, Orlando Cable Park, Orlando Waterboard Park, Orlando Wakeboarding Miami, Orlando Water Sports, Cable Park Miami. All of what I would call the money terms, the ones that are driving all the traffic, you guys are doing a really, really good job of dominating, which is somewhat surprising because a lot of your SEO was not done properly. Just, these hyper local services, when you guys do really well, Google really benefits you. So you can see here that your meta descriptions were not really done for anything, only this specific one, which seems to be replicated along most pages. Your metadata and your titles are going to be very, very important for localized services, right? We want to own everything that's Orlando Water Sports, everything that's Miami Water Sports, and everything that ties to the new coming park Elite, which I'm still not sure where this is. Um, so it's always important to have that basic foundation done, which is going to take you a long way in the long run. But you have such powerful domain authority that we don't want to start from scratch. We want to give everybody a dedicated URL, which could be, Orlando Watersportscomplex.com and Miami Watersportscomplex.com, but they can simply redirect to actionparks.com /Miami /Orlando, and letting people know that you guys are the leaders and have multiple parks. And then really keep the sexy homepage, which can be a lot nicer, better call to actions, better information, but keep a parent page as you guys being the big dogs in the space. Again, my suggestion, there's nothing wrong going the other route, but it seems you've built a lot. You have a really good brand with Action Parks. And now we just want to make that a better process from there to individual pages, which should be individually branded or co-branded with Action Parks. So that's something that was very clear. The way that this company has approached things like SEO and your call to actions, relatively elementary. You can kind of tell the way the colors match up, a whole bunch of call to actions in one place. We can go here, and you're missing kind of the big key pieces of a local services with web development, right? A big book now or contact us button that stands out. Your online waivers, all that stuff needs to be very, very accessible. And then really, really important, you want map and location information to be very, very prominent. One thing that I've noticed here, because they were trying to go relatively efficient or low cost with you guys, they're basically sharing the entire template. So Miami and Orlando don't have their own template, they just have their own specific pages. So I can go to Miami, and then I'm still getting all of these Orlando pages. So we'd want to customize that and give it its own specific navigation and information, and hopefully play around with spacing and color so we don't get this like jam of content that I really struggle with. Again, here we're getting hit with all these parks and all this information. We run all the marketing for Orlando Tree Trek, really cool zipline park. So you could see some really best practices here around booking, getting your tickets, your specials, your waivers. Then you go through the process, information, educate people on the abilities and capabilities of the park. Another secondary call to action, very visible, additional opportunities, and then a very specific footer with a big old map on how to get there, that if you click to this, it'll take you right to Google Maps so they can come to your location. So you want to provide that type of experience in a way that caters to all the parks. And what happens if you go the other route is you get this where they're just, okay, hey, let's just hope that the person knows that, oh, don't click first time guarantee or don't book here. You actually go into the Miami one. And that's very counterintuitive. And you could run into some issues there. Again, going back to my little document here, I think we want more access to the yearly pass. That's a huge thing. Better design in terms of segmentations of colors and finding content. Your goal as a local service provider is to show people exactly what you do as quickly as possible, figure out how to engage with you, and figure out the top information, difficulty levels, features of the park, things like that, and then take that action. So we want to create that funnel on your website and not just hammer content. And SEO, extremely important when we're talking about local services. So we want to get all your titles and metadata implemented properly for all 3 parks. None of this duplicate stuff, which will get you punished by Google. And set up those kind of proper URLs, whether it's a parent URL or your specific parks. Again, on the good note, you do have very, very good organic ranking. So what happens when done right? If we pull up Orlando Tree Trek, here is basically our traffic for the year. And even though the seasonal areas still have that bump, we've seen consistent growth, which is exactly what you want to see. And we're going from, on a weekly basis, 1,000 people, 900 people, we're averaging 24, 25, 23. So we've more than doubled the traffic in a year by having consistent organic growth. And this is how growth should happen. It should never be big old spikes. It should be consistent organic growth when you're deeply penetrating an industry. Another thing with them, I know it's not in your wheelhouse now, but digital for local services really, really works because we can saturate that area. So when you look at how we've approached social media, one thing we did is we created a landing page, almost what I call a secondary call to action. It's like, hey, if you're not ready to book now, at least get your 10% off voucher when you're ready to come, right? Get into our marketing machine, get into our email automation, and we'll stay top of mind until you're ready to come try Zipline. You should do the same for wakeboarding. So again, if they're not ready to book, it gives them this opportunity. By now, we've captured almost 4,000 emails, and our cost per conversion is extremely low. So right now, we're looking at around, if you do that and purchases, so we're looking at around $4 per conversion on Facebook. And what we do is we target people that have CrossFit, outdoors activities, and then remarketing, right? Remarketing is super important, extremely low cost, and some of you guys should definitely implement, even if you're just giving yourself a $200 monthly advertising budget. Then the same for PPC. Since you're only bidding for keywords in the designated area, the strategy is to make what I call exact campaigns, right? We're going after exact keywords such as Orlando Zipline in the exact parameter and just dominate it to 100% search impression share. Right now I'm at 75%. So almost every single time somebody searches for Orlando Zipline, I'm showing up in a top position, and we're converting at 41 conversions over this time window at $4.96 a conversion. So that's costing me literally under $5 to acquire a customer because we're approaching those keywords with this exact approach, and we're having a ton of success. The only thing I will say, I can't match that price. I will give you something more professional that'll last for the next 5 years for you guys for all your parks. I think when we did the math here, it's going to be around 10 template pages and around 30 to 35 pages to 40 pages for all 3 parks and your parent page. I can't tell you exact, but we'd be looking somewhere between $20,000 to $21,000 for all of the parks. Something really professional, indexed with Google, and ready for growth, not just a digital flyer. Hope that helps, and talk to you soon, buddy.